Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the DSP Morning Show here on DSP Gaming. It is bright and early. It is 11:07 a.m. Normally, this stream wouldn't even go online until like 11:15. But I got in here and I was like, I'm raring to go today. Today, I'm reapplying myself. I'm reinvigorated. I'm ready for major progress in Resident Evil Requiem. In fact, today, I'm committing. I want to get Leon to the Raccoon City Police Department. I don't know how long that's going to take, but I want to do it because that seems to be the highlight of the game, doesn't it? Like, that's the big thing about the game, is that you're going to return to the RPD and the actual map and location of the original Resident Evil 2. And I'm ready for it. I want to do it today. So let's get it going. Let's get people excited again for Resident Evil. I think when you get a game like this and it drags out, right, some of the hype is lost. I think that's what's happened this week is I'm playing this game every day for around 3 hours. Right now, we're 14 hours into it, and it's still going on. It's like, well, what's going to happen? Well, actually, yesterday, there was zero plot, right? Literally no plot development at all. Just raw gameplay with Leon, figuring out how his combat works, upgrading all of his guns, and exploring for optional stuff, which we did find a lot of optional stuff in addition to the required stuff for the story. And I loved it. Like, I did. I absolutely loved it. But the thing is, most creators rush through this game, which I'm now finding out that most people today who are doing playthroughs are not doing thorough playthroughs. They don't care. It's hilarious to me because you have to understand that I'm someone who's been around for so long, right? First of all, today is Wednesday, the 4th of March, 2026. I should say that. I forgot to say the date before I got started with my topic for this morning. But if you're not aware, okay, back in the day when I was a much bigger YouTuber and I was known as one of the go-to guys for video game playthroughs, I would buy a game on release day, rush home and unbox it, make an unboxing video, immediately start recording. This was before I even live streamed or did anything direct capture. That release day would literally be 8+ hours of release day gameplay that I would then upload to DSP Gaming, okay? Back in the day, I would have beaten Resident Evil Requiem within 2 days. Seriously, because I would have played at least 8 hours the first day. The second day, I would have been up early playing late all day long. I probably would have completed this within 2, maybe 3 days tops, and the entire playthrough would have been online already, okay? However, my playthrough would have been rushed. What do I mean by that? I mean, no, I would not have played as Grace for so long that I killed the 2 singers and figured out a way to kill the giant mutated blob man and also killed the butcher and also upgraded her gun all the way. I wouldn't have done any of that. Back in the day, my mentality was rush through the game. Beat it as quickly as humanly possible because people just want to see the ending right away. And you know what? That was the truth back then, is that there wasn't a system by which everyone was getting these copies early. People were playing the game several days early and were finishing the game before you even had a chance to touch it. That's how it used to be. Like, everyone would get the game on the same day and would play it and be a big dash, mad dash to finish the game and get your playthrough up before everybody else. That was part of my workflow and schedule, was be the guy to beat it quickly, okay? Today doesn't matter anymore. Why? People already got the game a week early. They already got a playthrough up on the internet. The ending spoiled. Everyone spoiled the plot of this game a week early. It was all over everywhere. So, what's the rush? And in fact, what ended up happening was, after many years of me doing content like that, it was about 3-4 years, okay? People started to push back against me, okay? And basically people said, listen, you don't do enough when you play a game. How can you actively and effectively review a game and say what its pros and cons are, what the best parts and worst parts are, when you're not seeing half the game? You literally skip almost all of the side content of most games that you play because you just rush through them to get to the end. And you know what? That's truthful. Even back in the day, games like Fallout, I really would just rush through, and then I would have, like, after I beat the game, I'd say return to Fallout 3, return to New Vegas to do the content that I skipped during my first run. That's actually what my mentality was. For the record, it was very, very successful. It worked. But after, like I said, about 3-4 years, a lot of people basically started criticizing me, saying, you know, DSP just isn't really the best Let's Player because he doesn't do enough. He rushes through, and because of that, it's just not quality content. And I didn't like that because I was of the impression that I was putting out stuff that was going to have posterity. And what I mean is, a playthrough that I did back then, you could watch it when it was new. You could watch it in a week, in a month, in a year, in 10 years, and it would still be just as meaningful and entertaining because of the way that I did my content. Honest, truthful, no kissing butt, no being overly critical to get clickbait. I wanted people to judge a game experience as a honest, raw, truthful thing when I started playing a game. But I also wanted people to think that it was trustworthy as a representation of how good that game is or how bad that game is or somewhere in between. And if people were telling me, hey, you're skipping too much, you're rushing through, this isn't representative of what the game really is because you skipped half the side content of this game, then I said, I got to change. And I did. Like, I actively changed for the better. I started making longer playthroughs. I started doing content at length rather than rushing through. Now, going hand in hand with that, later on, I became a live streamer, right? And the challenge of being a live streamer, but also putting out lengthy, detailed playthroughs is time, okay? When I was just doing the on-demand videos, and it was only about putting out on-demand videos, I could literally wake up whenever I want, record whenever I want, upload whenever I want, and I could go as long as I wanted. This is back when I was a bachelor, okay? I was in my, my late 20s, early 30s. I had nothing else going on for me besides, hey, record gameplay. So I had massive flexibility in my schedule to put out as much content as I wanted whenever I wanted. When I became a live streamer, and then when I basically became a family man and got married, my life has changed completely. Now I have to adhere to a schedule, because I have to be here on a live stream, and people need to know when to be here to see the content live so they can watch it, engage, and support it. That changed the whole game. It made me essentially change up the way that I did content and started doing blocks of scheduling. Today, this game is the first block. This other game is the late block. Do variety. Bring a variety of people to the streams, right? That's why I'm still successful after 18 years, is because I'm not just known as a guy who plays one kind of game or a guy who rushes through all of the game, right? Instead, I do lengthy playthroughs, but I have a variety of content and I schedule it all out, so it takes me a while to get through games. A game like Resident Evil 9 can be beaten in 8 to 9 hours if you don't read any documents. You basically don't pay attention to cutscenes or you skip them. You know how to solve all the puzzles already. You're just rushing through, just doing bare minimum combat to get through. You're not searching. You're not solving the optional puzzles. You're not looking in optional areas. You're just doing the bare minimum. You could beat it in like 9 to 10 hours. That's true. But could you then say that the game was truly explored and played? Or can you just say you rushed through it? Right? Now, I'm not saying that that's what every single content creator did, but I'm saying that's probably why content creators can beat the game in 2 to 3 days, when for me, that's not the case. I'm someone who has a work-life balance. I'm someone who balances multiple games against each other. One day I played Resident Evil 9 all day. That was Friday, release day. Since then, I'm only playing it one stream, and then the night stream every day has been something different so that I have variety. Because the truth is, not everyone who watches DSP Gaming likes Resident Evil. There's people who are here for RimWorld, people who are here for indie games, people who want variety. And if I'm not giving it to you, those people are going to leave, and they're only going to be here for the stuff they want, and that's going to be rare, right? Because it's Resident Evil week. Don't come back unless you want Resident Evil. So that's the thing. I'm just definitely doing it very different from what most people do, all right? And the other thing is, some people are saying, well, other content creators will stream 8 to 10 hours straight. Yeah, and that's bad. Don't you understand that that's bad? That that's not good? That you're not, first of all, you're not supposed to be working 10 hours straight regardless at any job. People would consider that bad. It's supposed to be an 8-hour shift. That would be overtime. And you're, supposed to be compensated for the fact that you're overworking yourself. If you're a creator and you're doing 8 to 10 hour streams, the second half of the stream is not good. You're burnt out. You cannot sit here for 10 hours as a human and put out good content for 10 hours. It's just not possible, okay? Now, I'm not saying that there aren't younger people who probably would do it better than me, But I'm saying it's just not how you're supposed to do it. You have to do it in blocks so you're refreshed or whatever, even taking breaks and whatever, you know. If I just sat here and I played a game for 8 to 10 hours straight, the second half of the stream would be garbage. I'd be upset. I'd be complaining constantly. I'd be playing like shit. That's not how you put out good content whatsoever. In fact, I would argue that in most cases, you probably only want to play a video game for 3 to 4 hours tops, because then you're kind of tapped out. You need to step away from it. So that way you don't become like tunnel vision, hyper-focused on the game, and now you play like shit. That's always been the case for me too. Even back in the day. Again, when I used to record the videos offline and not stream, in the middle of the day, I would literally walk away and take breaks for like an hour or more to refresh myself before I came back to continue on with the big marathon recording that I would do on release day. I couldn't just sit there and record for 10 hours straight. That's ridiculous, you know? So I get what you people are saying, that people are, oh, well, other people stream 8 to 10 hours. Yeah, and that's bad. That's why when you watch their playthroughs, they didn't do all the content. That's why when you watch their playthroughs, they get burnt out. That's why, you know, those people who are big streamers who beat the game in 2-3 days, they're big streamers. They didn't have to fucking play the game. Get it? They could have shat on a toilet for 2 days and would have got the same viewership and the same attendance. When you're actually trying to make a quality product for an audience that's going to have, again, posterity, that people will check it out today, tomorrow, in a year, in a month, because it's a valid playthrough, you have to do it right. You can't just rush through. You can't play it all in one sitting. That's fucking retarded. And the fact that people are brainwashed to think that today is exactly the same as back in the day when, again, everyone told me, you have to do it this way, you have to do it that way. I was like, but I'm different. My content's different. That's why I'm relevant, because I don't just chase trends. I don't do it how everyone else does it. And it pisses me off that people in 18 years later don't fucking get it, that I do things differently and it works, or I wouldn't be here. Okay? So, that's my mentality. Today, I'm reapplying myself. I want to play Resident Evil. I'm dying to get into it. I've been craving it because it looks like we're about to probably finish up the area that we're in with Leon, and we're going to go right into Raccoon City, and hopefully this is going to, you know, get more exciting to get to the original parts of the first or the second game. I'm excited for that. But attendance falls off. Support falls off. Listen, there's nothing I can do about that. Unless you want me to become a crap streamer who literally sits here for 8 to 10 hours a day pumping out schlock that's garbage. All right? You're never going to get me rushing through a game and beating it in 2 days. That wouldn't even be worth, I feel, my time or your time. That would be a waste of everyone's fucking time to do that. Sorry, I don't believe that that's the way to do it. Back in the day, when there was a big mad dash to finish a game and be the first person to get the ending on the internet, yeah, that was a different mentality. That was also 15 years ago. Things change. But everyone just copies each other and trend chases and tries to do the same shit, and it's pathetic. I don't know why people just think that's the way to do it, because that's how everyone else does, so you're a peasant. You fucking just follow what you're told. Oh, this is it. This is, you know, mindless. Mindless shit. I am going to continue to play games at my pace so that I can put out good quality product that I can stand behind, you know? And even yesterday, you know, by the time that we were done with the 3.5 hours I was playing, I was exhausted. You saw I was making silly mistakes like, oh, here's a new mechanic where we're standing on glass, and I keep breaking the glass. I'm like, that's time to step away. I can tell I'm burnt out for this session. I need to step away. I'll come back tomorrow refreshed. I'll do this properly rather than stand here for the next 10 minutes and fail miserably over and over and then rage because I'm tired, right? I just feel like so many people on the internet today they're just brainless. They don't think. They just follow. They don't actually seek out content that's meaningful. They just trend chase or watch what's popular because it's popular. And then if someone does something differently, all you want to do is sit there and say you're doing it wrong. Well, no. Doing it differently doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. There is an audience. Or else, guess what? I wouldn't be here. This wouldn't be my highest viewed playthrough in years if I wasn't doing something right. But the problem is everyone expects you to be like the new trend. Well, I'm not, and I literally never have been. I'm not going to change myself to be the new trendsetter. Oh, look, I'm playing the game just like this guy did, just like this guy did. I don't give a fuck how they played it. I'm going to play it in a way that I feel I'm putting out something that's worth everyone's time, so you're not wasting your time sitting here seeing me fuck around in the game and just rush through it and skip everything. That's stupid. Okay? At the same time, I'm also not going to platinum the game. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to sit here and platinum it, because that's probably going to be a waste of everyone's time. There's probably little nuanced things that you need to do that I don't even know how to do, and I don't really care about that, all right? But I want to do stuff that's worth everyone's time, okay? And I hope you understand that. I want to be, when you're on my stream, you're not wasting your time. You're having a good time with something that's meaningful, and again, a playthrough you can watch whenever you want, okay? So today we continue on. I hope that you're here for the right reasons, okay? I want to have a great time here today with all of you with Resident Evil, but I hope you understand where I'm coming from. Oh, so-and-so beat the game in 2 streams. Yeah, and each stream was 12 hours fucking long, and they rushed through, and they played like shit. Who gives a fuck about their playthrough? It's brainless shit. It's garbage. Why are you watching it? Duh, because they're popular. So you're stupid. I mean, sorry. I would like to think that people who watch my content have at least a few IQ points in their heads. Why else would you be here? Because you chose to actively be here instead of watching the guy who has 20 times my viewership, but is a mouth-drooling idiot and just yells slurs and fucking acts like a cartoon character, right? It's a little different, the content here. And it's not for everyone. Admittedly, it's not going to be for everyone. But that's okay. I just hope that people get it. And they're here for the right reasons, you know? We were having a great time when this game came out on Friday and then on Sunday. But now here we are. This is, what, day 5 of me playing it? Because the game is long. The game actually does have content, but the problem is the internet reports it as an 8-hour game because the internet is stupid as fuck. The internet didn't play the game, didn't take their time with the game, or even enjoy it. They rushed through it like dunces. The game is actually probably around 20 plus hours long if you take your time with it, which you're supposed to. That's the point of a video game, to immerse yourself in the world and the experience, to look at the lore, to see what content's in it. Not to say, "Durr, I beat it in 5 hours because I rushed like moron." Ooga booga, oh, my armpit itches. Ooh, look, I gotta cook dinner. Let me clack these 2 rocks together to start the fucking fire. What are you doing? Okay. I think I'm gonna change the playlist because this music we've heard like 2-3 times in the last few days. I think we've run out of the tracks in this playlist. This is the cool playlist. And I just feel like we've heard this one a million times. I'll go to this one. Jordy could use some advice playing Resident Evil. I doubt that. Jordy's played a bunch of them, right? He's played a bunch of Resident Evils before. Stan, you're an idiot who doesn't play the game. He goes, oh, the game's not open world. You can beat it. It's linear. Wrong. You're outright wrong. The game has an open world structure. When you play with Grace, you could do things in different orders in the I say mansion because it is really like a mansion. In the care center, it's not linear whatsoever. You actually have choice to do things and explore optional areas and kill zombies that you don't necessarily have to, but you get rewarded for it. With Leon, again, it's actually open world. There's optional areas you can completely skip, or you can investigate and get optional content, but a lot of additional combat and the like. You don't know what you're talking about. You're an idiot. Oh, I'm not playing Marathon. No. We played the Marathon Server Slam last week. Marathon is incredibly similar to every single other extraction shooter. Notably, it plays like the same gameplay loop as Arc Raiders, except it's first person, so the combat's a little different. But it's pretty much the same. Like, there's no reason to play it. Just go play Arc Raiders. In fact, I would argue Arc Raiders is probably a little better because Marathon, they made the enemies really gang up on you, and basically if you get downed, they still come after you, so you can't even escape once you're downed, basically. It's just not a very good game unless you're teamed up with people. So I wouldn't even recommend Marathon unless you're playing it with a group. I would never play Marathon solo. It's just, it's another game that, like, could it be fun? Yes. Are there people who will probably find it fun? Yes. Does it need to exist? Hell no. It's just another superfluous game meant to print money. It doesn't serve a purpose. It shouldn't exist. It's better than High Guard. I'll say that. It's better than High Guard was, but it's still not good. It just is, you know? Iki, thank you for a gifted sub over on Kick. Today I will actually spell your name correctly. Please forgive me for not spelling it correctly yesterday because it's a really weirdly spelled name, right? Thank you for the first gifted of the day. Appreciate that. Okay. There's actually a lot going on in gaming right now. I didn't really want to cover it as official topics, but they did formally announce that they are remaking Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag. I think they're calling it Resynced or something like that. So that is being worked on. They didn't give any release date or anything, but they confirmed it finally that, yeah, Assassin's Creed 4 is getting remade as a modern game. Some people, I'm sure, will rejoice at that news. Others will be like, meh. For me, I really liked Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. It was one of my favorites in the franchise. I would say the trilogy of 2, Assassin's Creed 4, the Assassin's Creed that was set in England, it had this brother and sister. I forget what that one's called. And Assassin's Creed Odyssey are probably my 4 favorites of all the different generations of Assassin's Creed. So, if you guys wanted to see me replay Assassin's Creed 4, I would. I would replay the remake if you guys wanted. I mean, it's been so long since the game's been out, I don't even remember much about it, to be honest. What's up, Chris? Good morning. How's everyone doing this morning? Everyone doing well? Who do we got today? We got Fader, Apollo, Chicken Nugget, Fuse, Oat Steel, Free JT, Deserac, Jasky, Gareth, Bave Lines, Dog Eat Dog, Pokemon Enthusiastic. Who do we got? William, Stayplation, that's an interesting name. The Laughing Pigeon, Rude Fossa Gaming, Stan, Grandmaster Scrub. Who else do we got? On the kick side, we got Very Epic Man, Iki, of course. Lonely Vaulty, Edreed, Philosopher, Eddie Chill is there. Username already taken is there. Who else do we got? Daz Auto Chick, Snake Sauce, and more. Edreed, did I say Edreed? We got a good amount of people here so far. And we're early. Like, I started the stream very early. So, actually, to have this many people, we have almost 200 on YouTube already. It's pretty crazy. That's awesome. Jason says, AC4 is okay. Probably the best classic Assassin's Creed. Definitely, I prefer Odyssey by a lot. I haven't played Valhalla. If you played Odyssey, you have no reason to play Valhalla. I'm serious. Odyssey is better paced and has better content and story than Valhalla does. Valhalla is really badly paced game that's just way too drug out. It's way too long. It has entire, like, 10 to 20-hour chunks that could be removed from the game, and the game would be exactly the same game. It's bad in that regard. It just really doesn't respect your time. What's up, Quasar? What's up, Jack? Good morning. Hopefully everyone's doing well, and you're ready for Assassin's Creed today. I know I am. Okay. Oh, really? Someone just tipped me $20 and said something interesting. This is, okay. Let me do an animation first. Where the hell is... Here it is. 20 bucks. Thank you for a $20 tip. And, FYI, I have an update for everyone. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed the... zombie and biohazard animations for Resident Evil the last couple of weeks. This is actually, we're heading a week and a half into it. Once we complete Resident Evil Requiem, I'm going to remove those and replace them with classic gaming animations, most of which I've already used before. But I want to get like Sonic, Mario, Chun-Li, Castlevania, Mega Man, Mario. I want to get those into the rotation because it's a retro marathon on Friday. So I want to have those for like Friday and maybe some part of next week. And then probably around the middle of the month, I'm going to update for like St. Patrick's Day and spring. Okay, so this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make the channel always feel fresh rather than have the same animation stuck for like a month or two. I want to try to mix them up and rotate them around and make it feel more interesting. So enjoy the zombie animations today and tomorrow. And tomorrow we're probably beating the game. And then after that, we're on to retro stuff. Okay, so there you have it. If you want to see those animations, contribute today and tomorrow because they're going away starting Friday. All right. So this person tipped $20 and says, I might be in the minority here, but the Raccoon City section feels a bit drab compared to the first half of the game. Either way, I always enjoy your streams. Well, thank you for that. I didn't get there yet. We're going to get there today. I don't know how long it'll take, but I guess we'll get there and we'll see. It felt like the Raccoon City was the buildup. Like that's what we're trying to push towards and get to. But I find it funny that now you say it's not even that good. Oh, man. I guess we'll have to see. Jeez. All right. I received a $5 tip from Voland. Thank you so much to Voland. Voland says, I like your immersive approach to video games. I'm sure most other viewers feel the same. Don't worry about the naysayers. Yeah, what you will find, I feel, you can disagree, is that people who actually are fans of my style, they're immersed and they want to watch the whole playthrough and they watch it at their own pace, but they will get through it and then they come by and they'll hang out and support when they can. Again, that's why someone like me who gets, a few hundred viewers a stream, maybe 1,000 or more views on a video on demand, can still make a good living. Much better than most people of my size and stature, that's for sure, because people appreciate that I've been around for 18 years, I've honed my craft, and I got to the point where I'm doing the content that I feel is meaningful rather than just doing it for the buck like I used to. To be honest, rushing through those games and pumping out those playthroughs extra fast or whatever, didn't really care about the content I was putting out. Today I do. Today I want to be putting out good content. You understand? How do I feel about the game being more open worldish in Resident Evil 9? I like it. I like that about any game where as long as it's rewarding to do so. Like, for example, let's say right now we're on this street in Raccoon City and we were exploring and we do a whole side area and there's nothing there. I'd be pissed. But they've actually done a good job that explore everything, solve optional puzzles, right? Get into optional areas, kill a bunch of enemies, but then there's good rewards. Like, we've seen a whole new sniper rifle, which was awesome. We found a charm for it that makes it interesting and better. We found tons of extra currency, which allowed us to buy all the equipment and upgrades and stuff. So yeah, like, I don't have a complaint. I think they're doing a great job in that regard. I think the game is well designed, and I'm very much enjoying myself. At first, when I was playing with Leon, I was a little, slow to understand it. And then as soon as it clicked and I figured out how to play with him, I started liking the game a lot more again. And that's exactly what happened with Grace, too. Like, at first, I was like, it's just sneaking around. It's not interesting. But then when I got better at it, I started getting upgrades and crafting. I liked it more. And I feel like that's exactly what happened with Leon. Within a few hours, I started liking Leon better. And I'm excited to jump in today. Eddie Chill, who gives two fucks? No, really, why would you even type that in my chat? Who gives two fucks about documentaries? No one gives a shit. I don't care about any moron making a fucking documentary about me. I don't give a shit. Let them do what they want, say what they want. I'm sure it's not actually going to cover good things. It's only going to focus on bad. It's going to rehash the same fucking territory. Nobody fucking cares. Will I stream Xenoblade Chronicles X Switch 2 Edition? I don't think so. I only played one Xenoblade Chronicles game ever. It was way back in the day on the original Wii. It didn't work. People found it boring after about 25 hours, and I quit. I've never went back to the franchise since. It's not that it's a bad franchise. In fact, I probably would like it, but these lengthy JRPGs just don't usually work for my content. I will be going back to Dragon Quest VII next week and balancing that again with Hollow Knight until one of them finishes. It looks like I'll probably finish Hollow Knight in a stream or two. And then we'll see what's next. But the truth is that we have a lot of indie games now that we can check out as a result of last night's stream where we checked out so much content. It was really cool. Thank you to anyone who's on that stream last night. We checked out like 30, 40 games, and we added like 25 games to my wish list on Steam. A lot of them look interesting. I think some of those might turn into fun little playthroughs that we're going to do. And then later on this month, second half of March, there's a lot going on with new releases. For example, second half of March has... here we go. I don't know if I'm going to be playing John Carpenter's Toxic Commando. I may or may not. We'll have to see. Alex is dropping in Street Fighter 6 on March 17th. Then we have Crimson Desert on March 19th. Okay? And at the end of the month, we get the Life is Strange reunion game and Screamer, which is a unique driving game. So that's good stuff for the second half of the month. That's going to basically be probably more than enough to get us through the rest of the month. So once we get to that second half of the month, we're good. And that's only, another week or two. So Dragon Z Nation, thank you for a €1 super chat. I appreciate the support, man. Thank you so much. Is that our first? I think that might be our first super chat of the day. It's Drags Nation. I got to figure out how to say your name properly. There's like Drag Z Nation. It's Drags Nation. Okay, thank you for the super chat. Yes, the marathon is Friday. It is the Retrothon. It's all retro Nintendo games from Nintendo Switch Online, as played with my brand new retro 8-bit Do SNES style controller. And I do have the Pokemon controller as well. That's more like a Switch 2 Pro controller. So I could switch on the fly if I need to. It's going to be more retro games like on NES, Super NES, Game Boy Advance, but also we're going to have more modern games like on GameCube and N64. It should be pretty fun. We already have about 5 or 6 games that you guys already nominated, so you'll be voting on the order we play, but live during the marathon, you'll also be nominating more games from the service, and we'll just keep doing polling to figure out what we're going to play during the day. It should be a really fun event. Dog Eat Dog did a $2 Canadian super chat, says, less talk, more play. We will, but we're building up attendance. Right now, we only have 200 on YouTube. I want to try to get at least 300 before we start. Yesterday, we had between 400. And typically, I start gameplay at the earliest noon, sometimes a little later than that. If I start now, a lot of people will be missing out. So I hope you understand. Thank you for the super chat. Plus, by the way, this is the opportunity for me to talk about stuff and get it out of the way. So once I start with Resident Evil, we can focus on the game. A lot of streamers, they boot up the game and then start gabbing with their audience, and then the game gets distracted. They don't make any progress, and I don't want that to happen. Will it be a chill or heated retrothon? Depends on the game, right? If we're playing a more relaxed game, then obviously it's going to be chill. But, dude, if I play, like, Ninja Gaiden 1, oh. That game, to this day, I haven't beaten. That game is insanely difficult. Like, wildly over-the-top difficult. So... Rude Fossa Gaming with the $5 super chat says, I told you 8-bit doughs are awesome. I have mine for PC gaming. I got the Bluetooth Ultimate controller. If I end up liking this controller, maybe I'll get more from the company. This is the first one I've ever had. So I'm kind of just testing for now to see if it's any good. I do like how it looks in the form factor and the D-pad. Let me show you. So it's pretty much exactly like an SNES controller when it comes to the form factor. It's pretty much the same exact size. It's a little different in the feel because it has 2 shoulder buttons rather than just the one. Original SNES just had the one, but luckily they raised the ones in front, so they do feel more like the original SNES front buttons, which is really cool. I like the face buttons. They feel pretty good too. And the D-pad feels exactly like the SNES D-pad. I don't know if they actually molded it off of an SNES D-pad, but dude, when I used this and synced it with my my Switch 2 when we played a couple games, it felt like you were playing on an SNES controller, which is perfect for a retrothon. The one weird thing is obviously thumbsticks. Like, that was way, way before the era of thumbsticks when the SNES was out. So I don't know how much I'll be using those. Probably I won't. I'll just be playing with D-pad and buttons, right? But I like the look and the form factor. Not sure about the battery life. We won't know till we actually use it on Friday. But I'm excited for the Retrothon and using this to play. I think it's going to be awesome. You're right, though. They have tons of controllers that are like this, right? They have like 3 or 4 models that are similar to this. Some have the full grip. Some have the ability to be with other consoles. I think this does work with PC, which is great. So if I want to play retro game style on PC, like for example, if I do the Mega Man Marathon, I might just use this because it plays like the controller you would actually play Mega Man on. You know, that's cool. But I know 8-Bit Dome makes other controllers too. I don't know. I really love my... I really love my Razer Wolverine. I think it's probably the best controller I've ever owned, to be honest. I love this thing, and I'm playing all games on it on PC. So I don't know if I would buy an 8-Bit Dough and use that instead of this. Just saying, like, this one is so amazing, but I get it if you like it. I do like this controller. I like its design, and I can't wait to use it all day Friday. It should be pretty good. How cool is that, huh? That hand is actually specifically designed to hold a controller. It's pretty neat. Jaron Church did a $5 super chat. He says, I'm tired of the playthrough. Hope this is the last day and we'll get Street Fighter tomorrow. I like you, but I can't watch this anymore. Now here's the truth, right? Listen to Jaron. I'm playing this game as much as I can to beat it as fast as I can, so it's not a drawn-out playthrough, and people are tired of it already. Do you see? But what's happened is very simple. People are used to variety on this channel. 100%. People now, they're so used to it. Phil plays a different game every stream. He doesn't play too much of one game. So the mentality is when I play a lot of one game, people can't stomach it. I get it. That's why I do the variety I do, but that's also why it takes me so much longer to beat games, because I'm balancing and people like that variety structure. So the way we're doing it is like this. Today, the daytime stream is Resident Evil Requiem. We're going to see how far we can get. Tonight, it's RimWorld returning, and it's going to be a very stressful RimWorld stream. We're in a situation where we have to fight a bunch of robots, and we're not really well equipped to fight them. I'm not feeling too good about tonight's late stream. I think people are going to die. Let's put it that way, okay? Tomorrow, yes, the daytime stream, again, will be Resident Evil Requiem, but I actually want to do a podcast because it's the second podcast of the week, and I want to summarize all of my thoughts about the game in one place, and that's the place to do it. And then we're going to see if we can beat it. If we do not beat Requiem tomorrow, all right, then we are going to finish it tomorrow night. So understand that if we don't beat it on the day stream tomorrow, I want to finish the game tomorrow. I don't want this to be a lingering playthrough that continues into next week. I want it done so that way people can see the ending and we can move on. All right? So tomorrow we're beating it one way or another. If we do complete it on the first stream, then it's going to be Street Fighter on the late stream. Who am I using? I don't know, but not Sagat. I don't remember how to fucking use him. So we're probably just going to pick any random character, maybe Dalzim or something, and we'll just play, and we'll have a time with Street Fighter tomorrow night, okay? And then the Retrothon is Friday. So then people can stop complaining that they want another game because it will be done with this one. Thank you to William for $1.49 super sticker, which is a shining diamond. Thank you to William for that. I appreciate that. Someone tipped $1 and says, I am seeing an alarming trend that bigger streamers basically get games, rush through them, and then kind of toss them out and play other stuff right away. And what do you think about that? I've already explained. Listen, they can do that, but that's not the kind of content that I put out, okay? There's a difference between I'm a streamer that's just there to entertain my audience in the now, do whatever's hot, and move right on to the next, or someone who's trying to actually make legacy content that you will watch after the fact because it has posterity and meaning. That's what I'm doing. I'm not just here to entertain just the live audience. I'm here to make content also for an on-demand audience who will watch after the fact. So I have to do things differently. I don't just have an archive stream that doesn't even say what's in the stream, and you have to watch it raw and skip around. I edit it out. I have the parts that are the playthrough, the parts that are the morning show, the parts that are the podcast, the parts that are the daily wrap, and I edit them out. I title them. I put them in playlists. I put thumbnails. I put the extra work in so that people will actually watch after the fact on demand. And I do have good on-demand viewership. I still bring in about 500,000 views a month on the DSP Gaming channel, and that's with the decline in viewership on streams because people are watching on Kick. I want you to think about that. Since I started co-streaming on Kick, I have seen no decline in views on YouTube. You would think, well, you should, because now your streams are split. No. So in reality, since I started streaming on Kick, I've actually increased my total viewership every month because all those views I get on Kick are actually additional views to what I usually would get. And I do get residual ad revenue on all of the videos that I put on YouTube, which is a focus of mine. I want people to watch the content after the fact. Right now, I'm getting far more revenue on the back end for Resident Evil. Like, I'm actually getting a lot of revenue on the back end because the videos are all getting thousands of views. And this will continue for a couple of weeks. Like, that playthrough will probably get decent viewership for about 2 to 3 weeks. So by the time's all said and done, this playthrough will be very profitable for me. Even if the viewership falls off at the end, it's still fine. It's going to do well. And I'm happy for that people watch it after the fact. It's a different product than, oh, yo, hi, everyone. I'm here to entertain the audience. Let's act weird. Let's scream. Let's do backflips. Let's fucking drink this energy drink. Let's bounce off the wall. Oh, let's play Resident Evil. Oh, let's play Resident Evil. Oh, we're playing Resident Evil now. Oh, we're getting through Resident Evil. Oh, look, we killed all these. Oh, Resident Evil. Oh, what's next? Oh, let's react. Let's react to some news. Oh, let's news. Oh, what's next? Oh, my God, I can't even believe it. This guy just said something about me. Let's see what he said. Oh, look, let's react to that. Let's do it. Oh, let's play Resident Evil. Let's Resident Evil. That's not me. Okay? That's not my content. That's what a lot of people do. These streamers, they're crazy, and they're just there in the moment to act a fool and try to entertain an audience. Their eyes are always like this. As they move around. Whatever. You know me. I've always been real. I've always been myself. I'm not a cartoon character. I'm not acting. The one time I would say I ever acted was back in the day, the commentary when I was playing a game. I would always try to say something risque to get a rise out of the audience. But outside of that, I've been a legit person myself for a long time now, over a decade, being the real me on the internet and making the content that I want to make and being successful at it. And I'm happy for that. So thank you for that, for supporting it, watching it, really. Why? Now, listen to this retarded statement. You don't sound jealous at all. Crying. Who the fuck is jealous? I don't want to be like that. At all. I have no desire to be a fake cartoon character bouncing off the fucking walls to satisfy an audience of young people who have ADD. I don't give two shits. That audience means nothing. I want to put out content that's meaningful for people who have fucking brains, who are, have an IQ above 50, and who actually want to see something meaningful. When you watch my Resident Evil 9 playthrough, I want you to laugh. I want you to cry. I do. I want you to cry at the parts that I suck at. But at the end of the day, when I beat the game, I want you to have gotten a good representation of what the game is, so you can judge for yourself if that's a good game, bad game, or somewhere in between. All right? That's my goal. Not, oh, I got a 5 minutes, I laughed at the stream, and I fucking, No, that's not what it's about for me. Captain Psycho says, I watch your stuff on demand most of the time. I'm usually working when you're streaming. And I know that. Listen, my longevity speaks volumes, right? It does. The fact that I'm still here and I'm still relevant and I have an audience that watches me every day live, but I also have an audience that watches this stuff on demand and equally they enjoy the content. That means something to me. That's why I go that extra mile to curate that content to make sure that it is watchable and easily followable on the channel because of the thumbnails, the titles, the playlists, and everything that I put the extra work into instead of just saying, oh, I finished my stream for today and I made a few bucks doing the stream, so I just throw the archive stream up with absolutely no effort and then I'm done for the day. I don't do that. Rude Fossa says, can we get a moment of silence for High Guard? Got the big D main event reveal spot at Game Awards and they already said, nah, that's our bad. We're going to shut it down. Yeah, because no one's playing it. It's as I've said, the game didn't need to exist. I played it and I knew within that one stream, there is nothing unique or meaningful about the game. The characters are all combinations of lifted of other games and slapped together. It's a combination of a hero shooter and Apex Legend with a base takeover mechanic that's not fun and no one cares about. The game didn't need to be made. The fact that they invested that much money in it means the people who have money are morons and don't know how to invest it. You had no clue that game wasn't what people wanted, then don't invest your money in video games because you're clueless. You're an idiot, right? You just got your money taken from you. You're completely stupid. But that's because they don't ask gamers about anything. Here's who they ask. The journalists and the influencers. They're not gamers, okay? Those two groups are not gamers. They're not. They benefit from games. They exploit games for profits, but they're not gamers. You actually have to ask real gamers what they want, then you'll make good products. But they don't do that. They ask the wrong fucking people. Why? Because they're money chasers. They only care about making the almighty dollar. They don't care about putting out a meaningful product that has longevity, that has, cultural relevance. They don't care about any of that. They just, how do I make the most profit? Well, it's not working anymore. You're chasing trends. You're trying to do copycat, content. No one cares. No one's going to buy that content anymore. Marathon very likely is the next to fail, and that comes out tomorrow. Likely that's the next to fail. Because again, it's just trend chasing. It's literally a game that doesn't have to exist and doesn't really innovate. Caterade, thank you for $2. He says, I wish you could get sponsored. You deserve it. Caterade, I'll just say this. I'm happy that I'm not sponsored because if I was sponsored, number one, I probably would have to change myself. And what I mean by that is the people who get those sponsorships aren't really honest. Okay? And you might say, well, are you shit talking all people with sponsors? No. But I want you to think about this, okay? The moment that someone gets a sponsorship and then actually is honest about the product that they're sponsored by, they lose the sponsorship or they're going to lose future opportunities. So even if they are, I want you to think about the temptation of taking a sponsorship and not being positive, right? Like, you're always going to want to be positive about something you're sponsored by because that means future opportunities with more sponsorships. The more positive you are when you have sponsors, the more money you make. The more favored you are, the more things you get early. It's too dangerous. It's too tempting. It's not a situation I would want to be put into because then I couldn't be honest and transparent with all of you. If I were sponsored by Capcom playing Resident Evil Requiem, I probably wouldn't be criticizing the game at all. You wouldn't know that I don't like the pacing and that I would have preferred to have alternation between Grace and Leon. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't know that there's certain things that I didn't like that I was critical of. I wouldn't even mention it. I just play the game with a smile on my face like this and then finish it and then on to the next and bring in the money. That's what sponsorships entail. I don't want to be like that. Even if you're not contractually obligated to say positive things, you're going to be tempted to anyway. Or you're going to be tempted to hold back on your criticisms so that you can continue to be in the good graces of these companies who are sponsoring you. I don't want to be in that position ever. I don't. I had opportunity to do it back in the day. As soon as I got big on YouTube, I started getting opportunities. People were offering me things. PR companies were reaching out. Hey, we want to sign you up and do this and do that. And I ignored them all. I just wanted to do it for myself so I can make honest content. And here I am 18 years later, still doing it. I may be for a very small audience, but I'm still doing it. And I'm still successful at doing it. And I'm happy that I can be myself and not be influenced by this kind of nonsense, which is, it's this machine now that they've created that you have to be positive and kiss butt, only say good things, rush through the game, be positive with it, get the next game for free early, get profit from that, wash, rinse, repeat. This is endless cycle of garbage. It's not quality content. It's just paid advertisement nonstop. I don't want to be a part of that. It's a vicious cycle of nonsense, and people just are so used to it now. It's so commonplace to see the big streamer get the game early, get the sponsorship, play the game. Haha, it's so good. What's the point? You know? Now, of course, the other half of that is if I do get a sponsorship, people get harassed anyway by my detractors. That is a factor. But in reality, I don't want to be a sponsored guy where all I'm doing is pushing, kissing butt, selling product, saying good, happy things. I don't. I want to be honest, you know? So I took the different path. It's a challenging path, let me tell you. It is a challenging path, but it's a good one, in my opinion. It's a noble one. Oh, let's see here. Someone tipped $2 says, that was the worst XQC impression I've ever seen. The fact that you're saying it's an XQC impression when I don't know XQC's content speaks volumes. Seriously. I wasn't trying to do an XQC impression. I don't know what kind of content he puts out. I've never watched him. Besides, I think the one clip that we reacted to him on my React show 2-3 years ago, I've never seen the guy in action. So the fact that you even made that association means that you don't understand what I'm saying. It's that simple. Root Foster says, I see Raycon and HelloFresh ads on every YouTuber's video nowadays. The sponsor, everyone is trying to sell their products that are Factor. Yeah. You know, and the truth is, like, for example, those meal plans are awful. They're awful. Did you ever look into them? So they're going to sell you ingredients so you can make your own meal. All right? That's great. Which you could do by yourself. If you put 5 minutes of effort in, you can find recipes just like the ones that the meal plans are selling you. You can buy exactly the same ingredients at your local grocery store for cheaper, and you can just make the meals yourself. You literally pay like double for those meal plans. It's a complete waste of money. They don't serve any purpose except if you're incredibly fucking lazy and you can't do 5 to 10 minutes of work to research a meal, then maybe I guess the meal plan, you think there's value there. But I mean, you want to talk about the laziness of society. I can't even be bothered to figure out how to make a meal for myself and my family. That's too hard. I'm going to pay someone else to do it. Wow. Again, you can. My wife and I are eating very healthy right now. Almost everything we eat is incredibly healthy. And it doesn't take tons of extra effort to do. It takes a little bit of research. What's the healthy alternative to the really bad thing that most people eat? And then you just make the meal with that. And you end up being healthy, losing weight. You know what I mean? Like, it's such a cool alternative to, say, a meal plan where I pay someone exorbitant amounts of money just to make one meal, you know? And, oh, it's easy to do. Yeah, so's everything else. It's not actually that hard. It's not rocket science, you know? Captain Psycho says, my girlfriend and I meal prep every weekend. We usually do Saturday and Sunday for the whole week. That's a smart way to do it. To be honest, that's an absolutely smart way to do it. If you can save time by doing all the work up front, and then just spacing it out and being able to eat and, you know, cook quickly during the week, that's a very smart way to do it. We don't do it that way. I think maybe we should eventually, but we don't do it that way. We actually each day have a different meal that's planned and we cook. Sometimes we have leftovers for a day, which is fine. But for the most part, we are doing different meals every day, and it does take more work that way. But you do eat something different every day as well. So, but no, the whole planning out healthy meals and having them pre-prepped and everything is actually a really smart way to do it. No, I said LTG was a dumbass because I thought he was doing the meal plans that you buy. I had no idea. The way that it was said in the video that I was watching, it didn't make sense. Like, it sounded to me like he was doing one of the meal prep subscription plans. I didn't understand that he was making his meals in advance and eating them slow. If that's what it was, I never would have criticized him. It was confusing the way it was worded in the video that I reacted to, and I misunderstood it, and I was wrong in that regard on what I was saying. It wasn't what he does, so. Am I saying he's actually smart? Oh, no, he's not smart in any way, shape, or form. That's going a little too far. The music was very Resident Evil-esque. I wasn't paying attention. With this Roland Bridgecast, I now have the music playing in the background so I can hear it in my studio. I could adjust it on the fly to hear it better. Sometimes I hear it better than others because some of the songs are different volumes too. I missed that last one. This one I can hear. Nice, relaxing. What's the favorite thing that my wife cooks right now? Oh, let's think. This week, I'm trying to think of the meals that we're doing this week. And what would have been my favorite thing that we've done this week so far? Probably what we had yesterday. Yesterday, we had a healthy pasta bake, which was chickpea pasta, pieces of grilled rotisserie-style chicken. So it was seasoned with rotisserie-like flavors, but it was grilled chicken. Broccoli, olives, sweet onion, fat-free cheese, and of course, some marinara sauce, some tomato paste, chunks of tomato, that kind of stuff. It was good. It was absolutely delicious. And it was super healthy. Tons and tons of protein. Very, very low fat. And, a great meal. Very filling. That's probably this week the favorite thing that we've had so far. Do I think GTA 6 will be delayed again? I think Rockstar has realized they can delay it as much as they want and people are still going to be eating it right out of the palm of their hand, right? They could delay that game till 2030 and people would still make it the best-selling game of the year. So they're just going to do it, and they're going to keep delaying it until they feel it's in a situation where it's going to be praised by critics, by gamers, by everyone. They know that how much they have riding on this. They know that AAA games have been failing left and right around them the past 5 years, and they need to be that staple studio that everyone can depend on. So they're going to make that game great before they release it, for sure. No, we don't make our own pizza from scratch because making dough it would be too much work to make our own pizza dough and stuff like that. If we make a pizza, it'll be like when we buy the pre-made dough, and that's not great for you, but it's kind of like that's a guilty pleasure thing. I don't know about putting Sambuca in pizza dough. That's an interesting tactic. Never heard of that one before. All right. What else you guys want to talk about? Any other topics going on before we adjourn and we get started with Resident Evil today? Anything else you guys want to chat about? Captain Psycho says, my girlfriend makes homemade pizza and it is definitely a process. All right. So, by the way, for the record, decent attendance. We got 250 people on YouTube. I was hoping for 300 before we started with Resident Evil, but probably we'll get more jumping on when I start the game. Today, please support the stream. Let's get some likes on the YouTube side. Get that engagement going. Please get some support going. Yesterday, for some bizarre reason, Resident Evil floundered when it came to support. We were sitting on $60 of support until the last 20 minutes, and then a bunch of people supported last minute, and we got over 100. But I mean, the playthrough was doing outstanding until yesterday, and now all of a sudden, it's falling. It's falling, tripping on its own shoelaces, and falling on its face. All right? That's stupid. The game hasn't changed. All right? I'm playing through it. I'm giving you my honest opinion. Please support the stream today. Let's go. Well, how are we even doing? I didn't even look yet. Okay. We haven't gotten any memberships yet. We haven't gotten any kicks yet. We did get one sub from Eek, so thank you to Eek for the one sub. But let's go. Let's get rallied, and let's get some kicks. Let's get some memberships. Let's get some subs. Let's get that momentum going for Resident Evil again. Okay. Are we good? Shall we end the show? I like to keep the morning show to around an hour. So I think we're going to end the morning show now. And tomorrow, we will do a formal Level 1 podcast, and the Level 1 podcast tomorrow is going to cover all of my thoughts about Resident Evil Requiem up to that point. So basically to the end, because tomorrow we're probably beating it. So it's going to summarize everything I think about the game and how my thoughts evolved about the game over the course of the week. Okay? That'll be a good one. And of course, any other topics, if there's stuff to react to, we'll do it all on tomorrow's show. Okay? All right. Guys, thank you for watching the morning show. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you tomorrow for the podcast. The morning show will return on Monday, because remember, Friday is the Retrothon, so we're not doing a podcast or a morning show. We're doing some retro fun stuff on Friday, okay? All right, folks, thank you. See you soon.